guys, welcome back to the channel here. We are checking out today a super cute sport ute. It's right behind me, the 2021 Mazda CX-30. This happens to be the premium trim level with all-wheel drive. Now the 2021 CX-30, it's the second year for the CX-30. It used to be called the CX-3. Mazda got rid of it. It was based on the Mazda 2 platform, but this CX-30 is based on the Mazda 3 platform. It shares the same powertrain, the styling, the interior is nearly identical, and this thing is really peppy. It has two engine options for 2021, which we'll get into in a little bit here, but this is a very nimble, very athletic, small sport utility vehicle. I mean, look at it. It's lower to the ground, but it's got some space on the inside too. So today we'll give you a full review of the outside, of the inside, get it out on the road, show you what it drives like, how it takes on backcountry twisty roads. Before we get going, though, a huge shout out to the folks at Freisinger Mazda on the Carlisle Pike in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Visit them at the link below. They got tons of really cool cars. Please subscribe to the channel below if you are new here to Overdrive Reviews. Like I always say, let's get moving. Let's start on the side profile here. I love the look of this thing. It actually looks just like a raised Mazda 3, and that's basically what it is. The Mazda 3 hatchback with all-wheel drive on steroids. It's up about 2 inches higher, I think, but it's a really pretty car from the side as well. I love this kind of dark, kind of like pewter gray, I believe is the color on this. A really aggressively styled car all the way around. Let's talk pricing and trim levels. There are 7 trim levels on this CX-30 for 2021. Starting out with the base around $23,225, then up to the Select, then onto the Preferred, the Premium, the Turbo Premium, then the Turbo Premium Plus. That's a ton of options. This is not the turbo version. This is just the regular 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. The turbos aren't at this dealership just yet, but they will be out soon. That turbo is a quick car. It adds about 60 horsepower under the hood. Let's talk about what is under the hood. Let's get under there right now. So let's break this down for you. All CX-30s, no matter which one you get, have a 4-cylinder engine. The base is 4 cylinders with front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is a $1,400 option. Now, if you go for the turbo engine, that turbo comes standard with all-wheel drive. So 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engines across the board, turbo and non-turbo, right? Front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, you can kind of pick what you want. Let's talk about fuel economy. So fuel economy for the front-wheel drive CX-30, non-turbo, 25 city, 33 highway, 28 combined. All-wheel drive CX-30 non-turbo, 24 city, 31 highway, 26 combined. Now the base CX-30 sprints to 60 in about 8.1 seconds with 186 horsepower. Now if you opt for the turbo, once it's available in your area, the turbo sprints to 60 and get this, about 5.9 seconds. Pretty quick. That turbo engine does have much more power. It has about 250 horsepower if you opt for that turbo engine. Now the base CX-30, again, a little bit slower than obviously the turbo. It's also slower than the Hyundai Kona and some of its other competitors in the same class. But what you won't get is the driving experience and just how nimble and athletic and aggressive and sporty this car feels out on the highways and the back roads. The turbo one, if you're an enthusiastic driver, is probably the way to go. So here at the front, no doubt this is an attractive vehicle all the way around, but the front is just gorgeous. A large Mazda emblem with kind of this diamond-shaped little cutouts here in the blacked-out grille. You've got LED daytime running lights, LED headlights, LED taillights as well. A beautiful, very aggressively styled, sexy design right here. Mazda knows how to make a sporty-looking car, and they do it really well, and the CX-30 is no exception. Not much down here else to talk about. There are some small lights right down there. You see them on both sides. The LED lights are super bright, really, really great at night as well. I love the kind of raised ridges here on the hood on both sides. Really kind of give it like a nice funneling action up to the windshield. And you can see up there on the top of the windshield are the sensors then for the various safety features like, you know, front crash mitigation, emergency braking, all that kind of stuff. New for 2021, all CX-30s come standard with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And That's pretty much all that's new, other than that turbo engine, which isn't here just yet at this dealership. I mean, look at the nice dive that the nose takes. It looks really nice, super curvaceous, really nice and sculpted. The designers took their time with this, and it looks so much better than the CX-3, which was kind of a flop, unfortunately, for Mazda. The CX-30 is doing much better. And again, the pricing of this one, this particular premium one, is about $30,000, $31,000. They start around 23. Like I said before, the CX-30 is based off the Mazda 3, so naturally it's a similar size. The length is 173 inches with a wheelbase of 104.4 inches, the width about 70.7 inches wide, and the height about 62.2 inches high. So it's wider than it is tall, which is kind of cool, right? About 8 inches wider than it is tall. So let's talk side of the car. We'll start with the wheels here. These are 18-inch 10-spoke alloy rims on this CX-30. I think they look really great. Mazda did a great job with them. There are different options depending on what trim level you go with. There are obviously disc brakes all the way around with Bridgestone tires. Not a big fan, as always, of this kind of crazy black plastic that goes wraps around the front from the bottom up to the wheel well and then down the side and up on that wheel well. Kind of looks a little bit out of place for a car with a premium package, but you know, I guess at the end of the day, Mazda wants you to pay for the higher stuff. I love the chrome roof rack rail trim right here. These feel really decent, feel really nice. I love the sleek, slim little cutout for the light indicator here on the side mirror. Not a lot of sculpting on the side of the car like I thought maybe there would be, or there should be rather, but you know, not the end of the world. I do love kind of this also rear quarter panel area. The window kind of comes to a really quick point and ends right there. The window in the back looks a little short, little small to me, so you gotta keep that in mind if you're a taller person. The rear window, you're not gonna have a ton of area to look out of. The one thing I will say about the side of the car is that look at the back. It ends kind of abruptly. I mean, I don't mind it actually, but the nose is so long, the hood is really long, and then the back just kind of drops off really suddenly. But again, it's kind of the hatchback on steroids, like I was talking about, a raised Mazda 3 with larger suspension and larger rims. I want to talk exterior rear styling for a second here. A great looking car from the back, handsome, sexy, pretty, whatever adjective you want to use to describe it. I would be half pressed actually to like take this car to a big park or a mall parking lot, cover up the emblem, cover up the name, and ask people what they think this car is. I bet you we don't get Mazda for the average driver. I bet you they don't know this is a Mazda. It looks much more premium than it actually is probably supposed to really be, being a Mazda, right? But I love these rear lights, LED brake lights, of course. They're kind of blacked out and grayed out on both sides, and they jut out of the body panels. So many cars have those flowing lines and the lights are built right in. Mazda said, nah, not for this one. We're gonna make those lights jut out, and it gives it such a unique kind of look, which I like a lot. I don't love a lot all of this black plastic. I said before, it kind of clashes with the premium package name that's built into this CX-30, so that could go. The rear view camera built right into here. This big wiper, not a big fan of these either. They could hide this so easily up here in the rear spoiler. Lexus does it, Toyota does it. I'm not sure why Mazda can't do it, but overall, those are just minor things. I think the back looks so cool. Now, since this is the premium trim, this does have a power lift gate. Push of a little button, little handle underneath there, it pops right open for you. In the back here, 20 cubic feet of space to store all your luggage and all your stuff on a longer trip. 20 cubic feet of space behind the second row of seats here. There's not a ton of storage area really on either side. It's kind of just the trunk space in the center. There is obviously a little pull up with a tire, a spare underneath there with some tools as well. There is the Bose premium sound system. That's the subwoofer back here. There's also your jack as well. The floor back here doesn't feel all that sturdy, so I wouldn't put anything super heavy. You might bend it and warp it, which I always hate because then it kind of sits like a U in the back and it messes up for other owners if you end up selling the car. But 20 cubic feet of space back here with the seats still up, and then when you're done, you just go ahead and push the button and it takes care of itself. Again, that is an option and comes on the premium package CX-30. So getting into the CX-30, door check. Sounds good, sounds solid. It is a beautiful car on the inside. Check out this center dash and this console area with the steering wheel. It is as premium and as near luxury as you can get without having a premium price tag, a crazy expensive luxury price tag. Everything from the steering wheel here, which is super slim and sleek and just feels great to the touch, to the center dash with this nice screen rising out of the center and these buttons that separate it. Mazda did a great job on the interior here. Let's dive in to some of these features. Let's start on the door and work our way over, right? So we got kind of the brown leather here for where your arm would rest, and here on the center insert here. And look at it, it kind of juts out again, just like those lights in the back of the car. This juts out from the body panel. A very kind of unique styling that's very, very Mazda. I love obviously the way the door sounds, and all these buttons are nicely done as well. Super nice to the touch. They're all automatic up and down, not just the driver and just the passenger, all four of them. This is a nice little area to rest your hand if you want to. It conforms nicely to your arm. You got the Bose system right here. It sounds incredible. Nice glossy black trim around that. Glossy black trim here around the buttons for all the windows. Let's work our way over here. You might be looking for memory seats on the door like most cars, but not in this. In the Mazda, they're down here. You got your power liftgate, memory seat options, in different settings, a small little storage space down there as well. You've got a button here for all of your different safety features like the blind spot monitoring, all the different features that keep you safe out on the road. You can turn those all off at the push of a button. You've got some off-road options here. And take a look at how, I don't know if you can tell here, but like this is angled out and kind of like curved out towards the driver. The vent is. A very nice flowing, sleek design here. Even some attention given to the vents and how they look. Phenomenal job with that too. There's some more brown up here. There is the heads-up display. Once we turn the car on, we'll show you what that's like. You can adjust it and it'll sit right out there. You can tilt it. You can make it higher. You can make it brighter. All the fun stuff. The steering wheel, sleek, just super nice to the touch. There's not much to it, but you know, no bulkiness at all. Mazda has done a great job at making this steering wheel a sporty feeling and great to the touch. Steering wheel, all your different options for the adaptive cruise control over here. You've got your different audio options as well. The center gauge cluster, which we'll get to in a second once we start the car up. Small paddle shifters here, which feel nice as well. They could be a little bit taller. They're kind of hidden back there, so if you're sitting, I don't know, like right here, you can't even really see them. I wish they were a little bit taller and kind of sat up higher, but you know, minimal criticism on that one. Let's give her a start up right here. A nice little beep greets you. Car is low on fuel, which I'm aware of. But over here on the side, it kind of gives you what your miles per gallon is at any given time. And over here is your range. Now in the center screen here, you can actually change that and make it look different or make it have the information you want to have in there. There's not as much customization as, you know, in a Mercedes-Benz system or a BMW system, but there's a lot of customization you can do in this 8.8-inch screen, which is standard, by the way. But let's get something up here like navigation so I can show you what I want to talk about. The only complaint about this screen is there's a lot of wasted space on either side. There's like a big inch over here and an inch and a half on this side that's kind of not used. The screen is just there in the center. That being said, the screen is beautiful, really, really nice quality, super crystal clear. You can control all the stuff on the screen through this big turn knob right down here in the center console or the center area where your arm is. So let's go to home. And when you go to home, you can change all sorts of stuff. Let's go to just overall settings. And when you go to settings, you can change vehicle displays, you can change the sound, what if a car beeps at you or not, safety settings, vehicle stuff, all the things you could ever want as far as customization in your car. So you've got your communication, entertainment, information, all the stuff that, again, you could ever want. There's the fuel efficiency thing I was talking about. You can change that and it'll kind of give you a readout after your drive is done. The car will kind of tell you how you performed performance economy-wise on your drive. I want to go down here and talk about these buttons. These buttons are all of your, obviously, your dual zone climate control. They kind of separate the upper center dash from the lower center dash. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I love the look of the big screen, but I'm not sure I love this big chunk in the middle. It's kind of where your eyes first go, looking for a screen, then you realize, oop, it's about 3 inches higher. And it's kind of blocked a little bit because this is sloped. This is sloped down in there. So there's a little bit of the screen that's blocked depending on your sitting position for your driving in the seat, but not a big fan of, this big chunk. It feels really nice to the touch though. Dual zone climate control, as I said before. Heated seats are an option. They do not come standard. This car obviously does have them. You've got your USB port down there, a big area to put, phone, other things change. Cup holders as well. There's your sport setting of sport on and off. It'll say right there on the bottom if you have sport on or off. That's all you can change there. There's no other driving mode that this button controls. Auto hold, parking brake, all your options for the center touchscreen. This is your audio volume control. Yeah, sounds really good. There's a favorite button for all the apps that you use more frequently. You can kind of favorite them as well. One of my favorite things in here, check this out. This big center armrest slides once, right? Opens up and is actually pretty deep. Lots of area in there as well. There is a USB port there too. Not a ton of room in here. You can take out that divider and make it larger, make it smaller. But the center armrest is really nice. It's huge actually, and I like that it's not 2 doors like some cars flip up and stuff. I like that it's just kind of one big armrest, and it goes up to where your arm needs to go. It's perfect. This is kind of the brown leather as well. Really nice to the touch, super soft, super supple. I really enjoy also the side. Look at this. Look how nice that looks. The brown, the black, and the gray, and the chrome trim all come together really, really nicely. Great design team at Mazda who put this interior together. Let's talk about the seats here once I move all my crap out of the way. The seats are super, super nice, super conforming, super firm, but also supportive and comfy at the same time. Phenomenal job on that. Some slight bolstering on the sides there. They're not racing seats at all, but they're nice. Look at the stitching on the side here. It's really, really decent. I mean, you wouldn't expect this in a Mazda 15 years ago, right? But it looks really nice. Stitching is really well done. Again, more premium and more high quality than I guess I would expect. But Mazda has really outdone itself by making this car a really premium option. Look at this cockpit. I could just chill here all day. I mean, I got to get gas in a second, but really, really high end, really well done. Let's get into the back seat and see what it's like there. So here in the back, I'm not going to lie, it's a little tight. I'm a taller guy, so if you're a taller person or hauling some folks who are taller, they might be a little squished in the back here. I have this seat right where I would put it if I was driving, and my knees are kind of touching the back of the seat, and my head is definitely scraping the top of the roof line here. But again, keep in mind, this is a small sport utility vehicle. It's a subcompact sport ute. It's not supposed to have a ton of room in it. You got to go to the CX-5 or the CX-9 if you want that much space. But all that aside, it's a really comfortable seat back here, just as comfortable as the front seats are. There are obviously some handles here to hold on if you're going quick around a turn or something like that. The doors are also just as nicely done as the front. You got the brown leather stitching, which is so well done. It looks, again, like an Audi or a BMW, but you're getting it in a $31,000 Mazda SUV. Let's talk about the speaker system too, because there are speakers in all the doors, obviously. You can opt for an 8-speaker or a 12-speaker sound system. This has the upgraded Bose sound system, and it sounds amazing. There is a lot of bass, and I love bass in a car. Like I mentioned before, these windows are kind of short. They're not very tall, so your visibility back here isn't phenomenal if you care about being in the back and having a good view. That also kind of cuts into the driver's ability to see that well because of the kind of shorter height in the back here. But you do have your center armrest with cup holders as normal. There is a legitimate hump here, so be careful because it is all-wheel drive. That powertrain obviously coming back, so be careful if you're sitting in the center part. Your knees are going to be a little high. That's where my knees rest. That's how high they're going to have to be if I was to sit in the center seat here. I think my head would also be through the roof. But all in all, a nice rear seat. One of the cool things Mazda, though, is actually offering for 2021 in the CX-30 at least, there's a connected services option that through the My Mazda app, you can, as an owner, lock, unlock, remote start, and monitor your vehicle through that My Mazda app. So if it's really, really chilly at the office at the end of the day and you're too far to start the car by yourself, you can log onto your app and start the car while you're inside and let the car warm up and let all the snow melt off of it, which is a really, really cool premium feature, again, that is coming to a lesser expensive car. So great job for Mazda with that. I wish there were some USB charge ports back here and more than just these little teeny controls for the air system. But all in all, though, a really nice rear place to sit and, you know, chill on your drive. And speaking of drive, let's get this thing out on the road. All right, we are finally out on the road in the 2021 CX30, and all I gotta say, firm, crisp, and just all around fun to drive. I mean, the steering is so sharp and so crisp. The ride feel is so planted to the ground. You just feel like you could do anything in this this small sport ute. You know that the cars around you are there because you see them, but it's kind of quiet. It's not loud. And for being a smaller SUV, boy, really surprising, really great to hear and to experience firsthand. Let's talk safety real quick. There's all kinds of standard safety equipment built into every CX30. Adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, automatic emergency braking, and you can probably hear that beeping right now. So the car will read the speed limit signs around you, and it'll put a little red marker in your speedometer at the speed limit, 35, 40, whatever it is, and whenever you go over it, it beeps at you and it becomes extremely annoying and basically forces you to slow down if you want the beeping to go away. Now you can turn this feature off in the center console screen, but it is a really nice intuitive feature to keep you from speeding in areas where you shouldn't be speeding. So the beeping, definitely annoying, but at the end of the day, it does serve its purpose, I think. Let's also talk safety rating from the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, NHTSA. They give this a 5-star safety rating, and for a small subcompact sport ute, that's a great rating. Super safe. Mazda makes a really great, well-made car. So let's talk about power here. Definitely a peppy little engine. 186 horsepower. This again is the non-turbo version, so 186 horsepower. And the sport mode really keeps those revs up really high, or keeps the revs longer rather. And so the car has a nice, really nice acceleration off the line here. Really kind of cool to experience in a small car. You kind of maybe feel faster than you're really going. Let's put her into sport and see what the acceleration is like, and we'll floor it here as soon as this light turns. Here we go. Woo! Yeah, all right. I mean, you saw me kind of hit back in the seat. My head kind of hit the rear restraint behind me here. The car's beeping at me because I'm going over 45. But really nice pull off the line there. Wow, really surprised. My stuff even in the back seat moved and kind of jolted out of its place. And this is the non-turbo one. The upgraded 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo has 250 horsepower. I can only imagine how quick that must feel. Wow. Compared to some other competitors, Mazda knows how to do sporty really well. And like I was talking about before, the steering, super sharp, super right on target with exactly where you want the car to go. You can kind of like control it with a finger or two. Really responsive. It feels great. The brakes grip really quick as well. All around 4-wheel disc brakes, of course. Let's see what merging is like. Oh yeah, the 6-speed automatic transmission. A little bit of a downshift that you can feel, but I'm not going to complain too much. Really quiet ride despite having 18-inch alloy rims on this car. It feels confident and just super well planted. I can't get over that. Let's get on some back roads and see what it's like there. Okay, here we go. Some back roads, not in sport mode, just to see what the base engine feels like by itself. Up a tiny hill. All right. Definitely enough power. It is not underpowered at all, and you don't really feel these bumps and imperfections. It's super smooth. I'm impressed. Usually with larger wheels you kind of feel more. Glides right through corners. Oh wow. And it's quiet. It is a quiet ride. Wow. Let's try to find some twists and turns. Let's see what these bumps feel like. woo, hops right over them without any issue. You can tell the suspension is firm. The brakes, again, grip really quickly. They feel great. There's no pulsating or pushback on those. And remember too, I mean, Mazda, once upon a time, their slogan was what? Zoom, zoom. Yeah. So this car definitely zooms. Yep. Oh wow, the turbo probably is so freaking fast. This definitely for the average driver, the younger professional, the young outdoorsy person who wants kind of a small sport ute, this is definitely enough power for them. But for the more enthusiastic type driving, the turbo is definitely the way to go. 250 horsepower versus this at 186 horsepower. This is a fun car to drive. It just soaks up these bumps and these turns. Geez, and minimal body roll too. It's kind of a higher wagon, a higher Mazda 3, like I said, but there's rarely any leaning into the corner. Look at this. Whoa! It was like it had like a hump in a turn, and the car just shifted right with it. The weight didn't like hobble to one side. It didn't throw me off at all. Wow. I'm not sponsored by Mazda at all, but I know it sounds like I am, but this is just a fun freaking car to drive. Let me know, guys, in the comments below what's your favorite part about this CX-30. It is a beautiful car. If you've got a Mazda or a similar SUV size-wise, let me know what your thoughts are about this. Mazda, again, sportier type of car brand, and they bring it with this 2021 CX-30. I am a fan through and through. Undoubtedly a fun car to drive all the way around. City driving, it's small, you can park it anywhere. If you're taking it away to the mountains for the weekend, it is ready for the challenge. It's got power for the hills, it's got the steering and the suspension for the turns and the twists. You really can't go wrong in this thing. It should be at the top of your list of small, subcompact sport utility vehicles. If it's not at the top, it should be 2 or 3. What an incredible ride. Mazda did a really great job on this. Again, the sophomore year for the CX-30, just a phenomenal drive. And like I said, the screen, not a big fan of all the wasted space on it, but it's angled towards the driver, which again, you guys know I love, and it's perfectly visible within my eyesight right here. The only complaint I might have is if you're looking over your right shoulder to kind of maybe merge or whatever, it's a little tough to see what might be over to the right of your car because the windows are so small, there's not a ton of visibility, but that being said, you do have a lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring. That's an option, by the way. Blind spot monitoring is not standard. So many safety features, you really can't go wrong. This car will do everything but drive itself. I don't know what else to say other than extremely well done to Mazda, and it should be on your list, like I said. That is it for today's review of this 2021 CX-30. A huge shout out again to the folks at Freisinger Mazda in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania. Check them out. Please subscribe to the channel below and like this video if it was of help to you. And also please follow us on Instagram at Overdrive Reviews. At Overdrive Reviews. It's super easy and takes just minutes. Subscribing here also helps us out so very much. That is all I got. Until next time, enjoy yourselves and we'll see you then.